everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. We've all been in a reading slump at one point in our life. It's annoying. It's an annoying thing to be in, especially when you feel the FOMO of everyone reading and you just can't pick up a book and read it. Or you read a page and you're like, oh, and then you just don't have the motivation. I've got the solution for you. Solutions, plural. So I'm gonna give you some tricks and some book recommendations for when you are in a reading slump. These tricks work every single time for me. I've been in reading slumps for a long time and then I knew how to get out of it. And when I start to feel like, oh, am I getting to it? Boom! I know how to fix it. So we're gonna have some tricks and then some book recs of some books that will get you out of a reading slump. First trick to get out of a reading slump, for me at least, it works every single time, is rereading my favorite books that I have a very special bond with. Those books that like it's a piece of my soul. Those books will get you out of it because you don't need to be paying attention too much because you already know what's going on. But at the same time, you are enjoying it because you go back into a universe that you love or with characters that you love. So rereading your favorite first book in a series or standalones, just favorite books. It could literally be any genre, especially if they're like when you were younger kind of thing. That's it. That's the sweet spot. And some of these books are in the book recs that I'm going to tell you for me. It could literally be Hunger Games from when you were 12 or Shadowhunters when you were 13 or A Court of Thorns and Roses when you were 18. You know, it doesn't matter what books it is. So that's trick number one. Trick number two is reading good old interconnected standalone romance books. For me, if I'm reading an interconnected standalone romance book, especially if it's a sport romance, I'm good. I'll be out of that reading slump in like 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be the best written sport romance book in your life. Actually, it kind of have to be a little bit like, what the fuck, cringy. And that's the quick ones. Short chapters, sport romance, interconnected standalone series will do it every single time. Obviously, the OG, the most known, is Off Campus. Reading Off Campus, for me, this is one of those books that I reread every single time. I read this, I was like 17 probably, and I still love it. It's been years and years and I love it so much. And every single time I will reread the deal. I think I've read this like 5 times, but it doesn't get old. Sport romances have some sort of like drugs in them. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what's in this to make it so addicting. This is a college sport romance series and every single book is a different boy in a friend group. This first one is kind of fake dating. The second one is like a one night stand and then yearning. Third one is my favorite, love it so much. It's like enemies to lovers, hidden romance, like lying to everyone. And the fourth one is a pregnancy trope. I know you'll be like, oh, I hate pregnancy. It slaps. Read The Goal by Elle Kennedy. Another great one is The Fight Game by Nikki Castle. I don't own the physical copy, but I've read the first 2. I didn't love the second one, but the first book will get you out of a reading slump. It's called 5 Rounds. It's enemies to lovers, best friend sister, you know, sister's best friend, enemies to lovers, and it's kind of like forced proximity because she gets evicted by her old flat and she ends up living with him, and he is an MMA fighter and she's like a workaholic. Such a good quick book to get you out of a reading slump. Just, you don't need a 6-star book, you need a quick good book, and that in my opinion is like the perfect recipe to get out of a reading slump. It's like a quick that you can put down book. Like, you need to be reading it. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. I haven't finished the series. There's more books that I haven't read, but I didn't love the second book, but the first book will definitely get you out of a reading slump. Another series that I've talked about so much, you're probably sick of me by now, it's the Windy City series. Every single book in this series will get you out of a reading slump. Every single book I've read in either 2 days or 3 days. They're so quick. They get you immediately. Like, you start page 1, you're into it. Mile High is like enemies to lovers, hockey romance. Probably my least favorite out of all of them, but still very quick, still very good to get out of a reading slump. Second book is called The Right Move, and that's kind of similar to 5 Rounds. It's very opposites, like grumpy sunshine, forced proximity, fake dating. The Right Move is so good. Third one is Caught Up, which is even better to me, and it's single dad nanny romance, a little bit of an age gap, and that's baseball. The second one is basketball. Caught Up is baseball. And then the fourth one is baseball again, and it's the brother of the guy in Caught Up. And it's the best one in my opinion. It's incredible. And Play Along is like marriage of convenience, kind of fake dating, of course. So good. So yeah, all of these will get you out of a reading slump immediately. It's called Win the City series because they're all based in Chicago. They're all interconnected standalones, so you could read either of them without reading the others. But it's nice to read them all because you get like the whole found family when they're all together, which is very nice. Technically, this is not a sport romance, but it's still interconnected standalones. Chestnut Spring series will get you out of it. Will get you out of a reading slump. Read Reckless. Heartless and Reckless are my favorites, and if you want, you can just read those. They're all very quick and easy to read. Like you won't take longer than 3 days to read this. I think in my head they're sport romance because they're like Yeehaw Cowboy, but not like Yeehaw America, Yeehaw Canadian. In Flawless, she is the agent's daughter, and like she needs to help him like sort out his reputation because he has a bad reputation. The second one is called Heartless, and it's single dad nanny, once again kind of like Caught Up. So good. All of these are quite spicy. Both the Windy City series and Chestnut Springs have spice in them, by the way. They're new adult books. And then third one is my favorite. It's incredible. It's Reckless, and Reckless is pregnancy trope, but he doesn't know that she's pregnant kind of thing. And I know people don't like a pregnancy trope. You just need to trust me, okay? Just trust me in this. Incredible. Love, 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 love. Reckless is perfect. Fourth one is Powerless. I don't love Powerless, but a lot of people do. And it's a friends to lovers sport romance. So he's a hockey player. So see, there's sport romance in this. The last one is Hopeless. He's a retired military man, and she is a bartender, and they are like completely different lives, completely different family, and it's marriage of convenience. It's not really marriage, it's more like engagement of convenience. The second category of books that will get you out of a reading slump is a good old romantasy book, where the romance is way heavier than the fantasy. You don't want a fantasy romance. You want a romance book with just a sprinkle of magic. Those books that, are they well written? Yeah. Are they good to get you out of a reading slump? Hell yeah. Throne of Glass is my favorite fantasy book of all time. It has a lot of romance in it, but that will not get you out of a reading slump. Nuh-uh. But ACOTAR will get you out of a reading slump in 15 minutes. You're out. The moment you open the book, you're like, yeah, out of a reading slump. Because this is romance with fantasy. It has a lot of plot twists and it's fun, and the second book will change your life. You've heard about ACOTAR. This is one of those books that I reread if I am in a reading slump, 100%. I will probably just reread the second. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and there's fays and there's a curse, and this human girl has to help this fae high lord to break this curse for the whole kingdom. And will she do it? Who knows? Same thing. A classic book that you've heard about it, you're probably tired of seeing on your For You page, or you've already read, is Fourth Wing. Once again, this kind of books will get you out of a reading slump. Like, these are the ones. In this series, the second book will probably not get you out of a reading slump, but the first one will. It's enemies to lovers, divergent vibes with dragons. Will get you out of a reading slump, trust me. This one did it for me. This book was the one that got me out of a reading slump. I was going through a reading slump last year, and I was literally like, I couldn't get out of it. And then I picked up Bride. This book will get you out. Like, there's no way you can read this book, even if you don't enjoy it, will get you out of a reading slump. Also, I freaking loved it. I gave it like 4.5 stars. She's the daughter of like the most powerful vampire, and then he is the alpha of the werewolves. I know, you'll be like, what the hell? Trust me and read this book. Marriage of Convenience. It's arranged marriage. Slaps. Every single time there's a marriage of convenience and someone says, where's my wife? Oh, don't talk to my wife. I will be there. Fast paced, and it grips you from page one. And it's silly and fun. It's Ali Hazelwood. Like, what do you expect? It's funny, it's lighthearted, it's fast paced, and it's a little bit spicy. Same thing for Once Upon a Broken Heart. But this is a spin-off of another series of Caraval. Caraval won't get you out of a reading slump. I don't know why, in my head that will not work, but this would. This is very fairy tale-y, enemies to lovers, with the main guy being extremely morally grey. This is a series, this is a trilogy. Straight away you can get into it. I don't know how to explain it. But don't look up anything on TikTok because they will get you spoilers. The next category of books that will get you out of a reading slump is fast-paced thrillers. Probably any Frida McFadden will do that to you. They're like fast-paced. They might not be 5-star books, but they will get you out of a reading slump because they're quite simple to understand and they're so fast-paced and so quick. And being a thriller, you're looking forward to something. Do you know what I mean? You're like, you can't wait to know who did it. So you're gonna keep reading. When I feel like I'm getting into a reading slump, I will pick up a good fast-paced thriller. Never Lie is one. Anything by Frida McFadden really will do it to you. This one is YA. If you're looking for a YA, this is the reappearance of Rachel Price. Quite invested from page 1 in this one. Belle is doing a documentary because her mom disappeared 16 years ago when she was just 2. Her name was Rachel Price. And at one point, Rachel just reappears mysteriously when they were filming this documentary. So what happened those 16 years? Where were you? That's quite good. Another fast pace that you probably heard of is The Silent Patient. Very good, very big plot twist, quick reading, and very simple. Like, you'll understand. There's no doubt you will understand what's going on in this book. The next genre of books is not my usual genre at all, but this book got me out of a reading slump at the end of last year, and I read those 5 books in literally like 3-4 days. It was insane. I was reading a book a day, and it's the Mindfuck series, but it's actually like 5 very short books combined. This will get anyone out of a reading slump. Even if you're like, oh, dark romance is not my genre, not mine either. It's a very mild dark romance, and I think the key in this is she's the dark part. he's the nice guy, she is the killer. So this lovely girl called Lana is a serial killer and she kills men. We support women's rights and we support women's wrong. That's what I thought. She kills men that did her wrong in the past, let's say that. He is a serial killer profiler in the FBI, so his job is to find out who is committing these horrible murders. His girlfriend. And it's so good. It's so good because you don't know who to cheer for. They're in a relationship, but he doesn't know that she is, and it's great. It's great. It's so fast-paced, and it's 5 very short books. Trust me, this will get anyone out of a reading slump. There's no way. Other books do I like these books? Probably not. I'm gonna be honest. But did they get me out of a reading slump immediately? Yes. It's the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. Penelope Douglas is one of those authors. It's either for you or she's not for you. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure if she's for me. But did I eat up every single book in the Devil's Night series? I did. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did. Are they questionable? Yes. Do you do this every time you're reading? What the actual fuck? Yes. You do that. Somehow they work. I don't know how to explain it to you. They are so fast-paced and so kind of absurd at times. It's a dark romance series, and it talks about these group of men who haven't moved on since high school. Let's say that. This girl was kind of like the cause of why they went to prison, so now they want revenge. And somehow there's romance in there. They all end up coupled up. It's questionable, but it's fast-paced and it's interesting. And you are questioning your morals while you're reading it, but at the same time, you can't put it down. No one understands the logic. Definitely my favorite one was the 4th one, the one with Will, was my favorite book for sure. But yeah, most people prefer Kill Switch. I don't. I prefer this one. That's my favorite. Another trick that works for me is annotating books. I don't annotate books almost ever, but when I see myself getting into a reading slump, annotating books will help me, especially if I'm annotating a book for a friend. So if you're annotating a book that you already read, because I don't really think annotating a book that you've never read will help you in a reading slump, but annotating a book that you love will. Me and my friend Emily have annotated each other's favorite books multiple times. So let me show you. So this is a book she annotated for me. This was annotated by her. See, annotating a book that you love for someone that you love will work, because you have that feeling of oh, she's gonna read this and she's gonna love this. Annotating a book for your best friend, for your boyfriend, for your girlfriend, for anyone that you care about, for your sister, I don't care, okay? This is another one. She annotated Crescent City. I know, that's commitment. But yeah, Crescent City for me. This is so funny every time. I'm so sorry. That's a great way to get out of a reading slump, because one, you're rereading one of your favorite books, which was trick number 1, and you're making it cute, and you can't wait for them to read it, and you're like, ah. Another way that I think, at least for me, it works so much better is reading on my Kindle. I don't know what's the logic or the science behind reading on a Kindle. You read so much quicker than reading a paperback, especially a hardback. That little thing at the bottom that says, oh, 2 hours left, that's a little challenge. That's a challenge that you need to beat. You need to be quicker than that. Any of these book recommendations on a Kindle, that's double the speed. It doesn't work for me on my phone. Reading on my phone doesn't help me, but reading on my Kindle really does. Also, another way getting out of a reading slump is making the environment where you're reading fun and nice and cozy. Like if I go to a park and it's sunny outside and I bring my little blanket, I live in London and it's -2 degrees, but pretend that you're in a nicer, warmer place in summer with a picnic basket and a little blanket in a park when it's sunny. Oh, I will devour that book. Like the environment where you read will definitely help you in picking up that book. Like if you're making it a little event, I'm going to read my book somewhere, that's the purpose of the trip. Like, oh, I'm going to the park so I can read my book. I'm going to my favorite bench, I don't know, to read a book. That will help. One thing that really doesn't help me when I'm in a reading slump is my phone and doom scrolling on TikTok, because that's what I do every day. One thing that I do is I put my phone in another room. Putting my phone in another room will make me like, oh, well then what do? Pick up my book. Last trick, which is not really a trick, is don't put pressure on yourself. That's not gonna help. Okay, we all probably have reading goals and Goodreads. We're in February, guys. It's fine, relax. Who cares if you're behind schedule? Relax. Because more pressure you put on yourself, least likely you are to pick up that book, because the pressure never helps. So just relax, reread your favorite book, or read a silly little rom-com, and you'll get out of it. You'll get out of it. Try any of these tricks. I'm sure one of them will work for you. Let me know if you read any of these books and if they helped you, or any of the tricks I said. And if you have more tricks, let me know, because we can help each other. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you get out of your reading slump. If you want to follow me along, I am not just on YouTube. I have a BookTok account, I have a normal TikTok account, Instagram, Goodreads, everything is down below. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope I see you in my next video, and I love you. Ciao, ciao.